Thank you for joining us today. We are excited to share some information on the Lender Interactive Test Environment, the LITE Pilot. My name is Kate Jensen. I'm the Acting Director of Quality Assurance in the Lender Oversight Division, and I will be your guide through the information session today. A few housekeeping items before we get started. Due to the large number of attendees, all lines have been muted. You are welcome to use the question and answer feature at the top of the screen to ask any questions. We do have a couple of folks monitoring our Q&A feature today, Damon Stutzman and Joanna Dunn, both of whom are branch chiefs in the Origination and Processing Division of the Guaranteed Loan Program, as well as members of our DA team. I have Julie Chapa with the Lender Partner and Activities Branch is assisting me today with the technical part of the conversation. And Lindsay Keys, our Acting Executive Director of the Guaranteed Loan Program, has joined us today as well. To get us started, I'd like to introduce Christine Meckley, the Single Family Housing Deputy Administrator. I'll now go ahead and turn it over to Chris for an official welcome and opening remarks. Chris, the floor is yours.
All right. Thank you so much, Kate. It is a pleasure to be with you here today. Thank you so much for attending. As Kate stated, I'm Christine Meckley. I serve as the Deputy Administrator for Single Family Housing under the Rural Housing Service of Rural Development. So I want to share a little bit about our journey and where we're going as we move forward with Delegated Authority here at USDA. As part of Secretary Rawlings' Rural Housing Modernization Initiative and President Trump's executive order to remove regulatory barriers to affordable home construction, we are pleased to announce the Single Family Housing Guaranteed Loan Program is going to implement Delegated Authority for our approved lenders by September 28, 2028. The details of this were published in the Federal Register on March 19th in a final rule. It was amending our 7 CFR 3555 to grant delegated lenders participating in the Single Family Housing Guaranteed Loan Program the authority to make loans and obtain loan note guarantees after closing with limited to no agency involvement. This initiative strengthens the Guaranteed Loan Program by improving service delivery, reducing unnecessary delays, and aligning processes with current market expectations. The agency is taking deregulatory action by providing the delegated authority or delegated underwriting authority in the Guaranteed Loan Program, allowing our qualified lenders to approve and close the loans. The change will allow the lenders to close loans more efficiently and will align with USDA's requirements with other federal home lending programs at the Department of Housing and Urban Development and Veterans Affairs. Delegated authority will be implemented in phases. And this first phase is our Lender Interactive Test Environment, or our LITE Pilot, which you're going to hear a lot more about today. This was also published in a Federal Register notice on March the 19th. The pilot program will test the change in the existing single-family housing guaranteed loan approval process by replacing the agency's pre-closing loan approval requirement with the delegation of the loan approval authority to eligible lenders, consistent with the Delegated Authority final rule. So we're excited to share these details today about our LITE Pilot, eligibility criteria for the interested lenders, along with the pilot process and our expectations. Thank you for joining us today. We appreciate your support for housing all across rural America. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Kate, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris. All right, let's go ahead and get started with a few important dates. The DA final rule was published on March 19th. The proposed implementation date for full DA is September 28th, 2028. The Lender Interactive Test Environment LITE Pilot notification was published on March 19th, 2026. The proposed implementation of the LITE Pilot is September 1st, 2026. We are accepting volunteers for the LITE Pilot through June 1st. If you are currently an approved lender and are interested in volunteering for the pilot, please send us an email indicating your interest by June 1st. Lender selection for the pilot will occur in July, and training for selected lenders will be scheduled in August. Next slide, please, Julie. I know many of our attendees today are in the mortgage industry or program participants, so you may be familiar with DA. However, I'd like to take a moment to provide a little background information on delegated authority. Delegated authority allows approved lenders the ability to make decisions on behalf of the agency. This process decreases processing times and ensures the certainty of closing dates while maintaining strong program oversight. DA is designed to improve the borrower and lender experience while enabling the agency to focus its resources on program integrity and ongoing quality assurance. DA has been a core feature of government housing agencies for decades. VA and FHA have long utilized DA to increase loan processing efficiency and manage growing loan volumes. Let's talk a little about our current process and how that may change under delegated authority. The current guaranteed loan process requires lenders to submit loan documentation for agency review and approval at various stages of the origination and closing process. Fully implemented DA will allow approved lenders to originate, process, close, and service loans in accordance with published regulation and policy with little to no involvement from the agency. Full delegated authority will be implemented in phases. The first phase will include an origination pilot. The agency proposes to implement full DA by September 2028. Next slide, please. A pilot allows the agency to test lender-led decisioning in a controlled environment. This will assist the agency in identifying risks and identifying improvements to ensure operational readiness prior to full implementation. The pilot is expected to reduce underwriting turn times, improve the borrower experience with quicker approvals, assist the agency in assessing lender compliance, and identify system readiness for the broad rollout of full DA. Next slide, please. In order to be eligible for the pilot, lenders must demonstrate an above-average loan performance based on delinquencies and loss claims over the past 2 years. Lenders must have originated at least 10 loans in the past 12 months. Lenders must be current on all lender recertifications, fees, and loan requirements. Lenders must also have a satisfactory compliance record, meaning lenders must be in compliance on their lender oversight reviews and not have a failed corrective action review. Next, please. Selected lenders will be responsible for signing the pilot agreement. The pilot agreement acknowledges that the LITE lender responsibilities as outlined in the LITE Pilot notification published on March 19th. Post-closing reviews will be conducted on the first 5 to 15 loans closed by approved lenders during pilot implementation. Random loan file reviews will be conducted throughout the pilot. These reviews will follow the currently established process for lender oversight reviews. Lenders agree to provide full loan file documentation upon request. Lender oversight reviews will be conducted every 12 months. These reviews will be in place of currently required oversight reviews that take place every 24 months to 5 years. Here you can see the estimated timeline leading up to pilot implementation. Please note, again, the cutoff for lenders to volunteer for the pilot is June 1st, 2026. Lenders will be notified if they have been selected for pilot participation in July, and the first phase of the pilot will begin September 1st. Next slide, please. As mentioned previously, the agency proposes implementing the first phase of the pilot on September 1st. Depending on pilot performance, additional selected pilots may be added in subsequent phases throughout the ensuing 12 months. Lenders will be notified in July that they have been selected for pilot participation and the estimated phase of implementation in which they will begin. Next slide. Thank you. Let's move on and discuss the pilot loan origination process. As you can see from the chart provided, the LITE process will be a fast-track origination process. The square in dark blue denotes action required by the lender. The lender will enter the loan details into the guaranteed underwriting system, GUS, and finalize the GUS loan file. This will notify our internal workflow system and assign the file to the pilot team. The pilot team will approve the file in the guaranteed loan system and obligate funds. A conditional commitment will be issued within 2 business hours. Business hours are 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday, with the exception of federal holidays. Please note that Streamline Assist refinances cannot be processed through GUS and will follow normal submission and approval processes. Next slide, please. The next slide illustrates the pilot loan closing submission process. Again, the squares in dark blue denote required lender action. The lender will complete the loan closing request in the loan closing system. The lender is still required to upload the closing disclosure and the promissory note. However, these documents will not be reviewed by the pilot team. The pilot team will issue the loan note guarantee within 2 business days. The agency requires 2 business days after the loan note guarantee request submission, not counting the day it was submitted. This timeline is required due to our financial systems. Next slide, please, Julie. Our final flowchart for the day covers the post-closing review process. Pilot lender oversight reviews will follow the same process that is currently in place for lender oversight reviews. The lender oversight or quality assurance team will notify the lender of the review and request the full loan file. The lender will be provided with a secure link to upload the work files to the agency. The agency will then complete the lender oversight review or the individual loan file review, whichever applies. If there are any questions or review findings, the lender is given the opportunity to provide additional documentation that may clear those findings prior to the issuance of a final report. The agency will then review any additional documentation provided and finalize the review. In the event of a lender oversight review with egregious review findings or an ineligible loan finding, a corrective action review may be required. Pilot lenders are required to adhere to published regulation and handbook guidance and are responsible for certifying that both the applicant and property meet all loan program requirements and are eligible for the loan guarantee. Lenders are required to maintain and utilize prudent underwriting practices. The agency can request the lenders file documentation as necessary, and the pilot team is dedicated to open communication and feedback with pilot lenders throughout the duration of the pilot. Communication between lenders and the pilot team is crucial to our mutual success. The pilot team will have monthly meetings with pilot lenders to actively exchange feedback on what is effective and what needs improvement. Monthly reporting and monitoring data will be shared with approved pilot lenders to ensure all pilot lenders maintain pilot eligibility. Pilot lenders must continue to meet pilot eligibility criteria throughout the pilot. I'd like to take a few minutes to go over a few common questions that we've received since the pilot announcement was published. The first, lenders will be selected, how will lenders be selected? Lenders will be selected on the criteria published in the pilot notification: performance data, loan origination, and compliance record. How many lenders are being selected? This will depend on the number of lenders that volunteer and loan volume. We will select lenders to reach a significant sampling size between small, medium, and large lenders. Selected lenders may join the pilot in phases, allowing the agency time to assess pilot performance. How long does the pilot last? For the pilot notification, the pilot will last 12 months with the possibility of extension. When are we going to expand the pilot? Any plan to expand the pilot will be based on pilot performance. Can I pick and choose what loans I want to be in the pilot versus the current process? Unfortunately, no. During the actual pilot, all submitted loans will be considered pilot loans with the exception of the Streamline Assist refinances, which cannot be approved through GUS and are still subject to the manual process. Can I exit the pilot if I don't like how it works? Yes. The lender can choose to leave the pilot at any time, We do ask that you communicate with us as to any challenges in the hopes of rectifying any potential obstacles. What if our systems are down? If any of our internal systems are down, we will not be able to honor the 2-hour business turn time. LITE Pilot lenders will be notified by the LITE Pilot team in the case of any system outages. If you are an approved lender and would like to volunteer for the pilot, please send an email expressing your interest to litepilot@usda.gov, the email address on your screen. Please note this email is for pilot purposes only. If you have any questions regarding loan scenarios or questions about loan files and process, please contact the Loan Scenario Desk or the Origination and Processing Division accordingly. Thank you for joining us today. All questions that were not answered through the QA feature will be addressed at our earliest opportunity. We greatly appreciate your interest in the Lender Interactive Test Environment pilot and your continued support of rural housing. This concludes our session today. Thank you and have a wonderful afternoon.